The Elevate Oak Park update, 11E. I don't have a huge update for you, council members. I do want to ask our Deputy City Manager of Community Services, Crystal Van Vleck, to join me at the podium, though. I have an unfortunate update about one piece of this that I wanted to make sure you were aware of. You've heard, obviously, we're moving forward with bond counsel, and we're going to have a financial advisor on hand soon, but we've been sort of waiting on this grant for the event hub. So Crystal, give them the
sad news.
most of the time we have good news, but
Yeah.
not always. So
Yeah, unfortunately, this time I have bad news. So we had been waiting for some time to hear for a grant that we applied for through the Labor of Economic Opportunity, and it was for a community center grant. Apparently, they received thousands of applications when they were anticipating hundreds, and so we did not receive. We applied for 2.5 million, which would have been a wonderful chunk of change for that project. But all is not lost. We are still applying for grants, including some pretty large ones, and so more to come. Yeah.
Wonderful. We have won an incredible number. Thanks to our staff. It's amazing to me. First that they're out there, and then we are able to win such a large percentage of the ones we apply for.
Yes,
Thank you for your
we will continue
efforts.
to look and apply.
well, and it goes without saying, just to the mayor's point, the staff has done a tremendous job. Crystal, you too, especially you, Kim, Lori. I'm forgetting many people there, but not intentional. But you know, if there are funds out there to get, we are going after them.
Nice.
And I think one of the grants we're going to be going after is a Humana grant. If I'm not, am I not supposed to? Okay.
Yes, Lori, I won't give out too much information just yet, but Lori and her team have done a wonderful job building a relationship with Humana, which has been very supportive for us in the farmers market over the years. They've been very generous, and a lot of that has to do with the rapport that Lori and her team have built up with them. And we applied for a pretty large amount of money in support of the event hub just recently through them, and so we're waiting to find out. But all of that credit goes to Lori and her team. So more to come. Hopefully good news on that front soon.
Yeah, nice.
So what do we have now toward the event hub?
We have 5.75 million allocated, and that includes grant funding and then also money that actually Carl alluded to earlier in our Parks and Recreation Fund. And as Eric said, we are bringing on a designer right now, and so we will have updated estimates coming in the future. So as of right now, we're working on estimates that were provided quite some time ago, which we, on purpose, I think we received some pretty large estimates because we want to make sure that we budget appropriately. So more to come. We are working on finding more funding and then also clarifying and solidifying the costs of the event hub.
Which will be able to much better pinpoint, to Crystal's point, because we have the architectural and engineering firm on board now, Newman Smith, and we'll know a lot more about what those actual costs are going to be as opposed to just an estimate, which is what we were using before. It remains our hope, and I know where you're going with this, council member. I know what you're thinking. I'm reading your mind. It remains our hope to not spend any additional dollars outside of what we can raise. And I just want to say this again. If someone had told me a few years ago, this is my 12th year here, if someone had told me a few years ago that we would grant fund and raise $5.75 million for a project, I would have said you were crazy. So I think that speaks volumes to the effort that's been put into this on behalf of our taxpayers.
Nice. Now, we had hoped to get more, so do we have to scale down what we're hoping to do?
We won't know that until we get the real-time estimates of what the actual pricing is going to look like. Because again, we were just operating on a proposed idea of what the costs were going to look like.
And we're still waiting for more grants that we're applying for.
Correct.
Okay. Good luck.
Okay, thank you, Crystal.